is 25 with Deanna O'Donnell and Missy Kohler. News 25, local news you can count on. Today's news is brought to you in part by Dr. George Leeks, Pahrumps optometrist since 1990, offering full spectrum eye care for children and adults. Call today, 727-8300. News is also brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law. Call 727-9900 today for your free consultation. If you need a lawyer, you need Nelson. This segment of the news is brought to you by Silver State Health, bringing quality medical and psychiatric care to Pahrump. Call 775-505-1214 for an appointment.
Welcome. It's Monday, November 2nd. We're so glad that you could join us and you had a happy holiday weekend. I'm Deanna O'Donnell.
I'm Missy Kohler. Thanks for being here.
All right. Well, 4 defendants involved in an alleged child sexual assault case were seen in district court this morning before Judge Lane. Eric Garcia, Mickey Cagle, Danny Hicks, and Vicky Bockley were in front of Judge Robert Lane in the Nye County District Court this morning, televised from the Pahrump Detention Center. Garcia was to be sentenced today after pleading guilty to lewdness with a child under 14 and unlawful use of a minor under 14 in production of pornography. His attorney, Brent Percival, has been replaced now by Jonathan Nelson. Percival has taken a job with the district attorney's office. The court is still waiting for a psychosexual evaluation to be completed on Garcia. Garcia's new sentencing date is December 5th in district court. The other 3 defendants in the case who were arrested on February 5th of this year following an investigation into alleged child sexual abuse were also before the court, this time for the attorneys to argue in favor of splitting up the cases for trial. Attorney Jason Ernest told Judge Lane that his client, Mickey Cagle, deserves to have his own trial and jury so that they can guarantee a fair trial before the court that is untainted by testimony regarding the other defendants' charges. District attorneys for the other 2 remaining defendants, Ronnie Boscovich and Daniel Martinez, agreed with Attorney Ernest's reasons for the motion. Chief Deputy District Attorney Kirk Vitto stated that there was no reason to have the cases tried separately because they were all arrested for the same case reported at the same time with the same alleged juvenile victims. Defendant Eric Garcia, who pled guilty, is expected to be a witness in the case against the other 3 defendants. Judge Lane, in the end, decided to sever the other 3 defendants' cases. The trial dates will be set for April and May of next year. Cagle, Hicks, Bockley, and Garcia were arrested by the Nye County Sheriff's Office for various alleged sex crimes, including sexual assault and lewdness with a child. Bockley is reportedly related to the children, 2 of them being her grandchildren and 1 being her own child. According to the Nye County Sheriff's Office, a doctor's visit reportedly revealed the children's report of what was happening inside the home, including bestiality.
President Trump's re-election campaign has filed lawsuits in various states, including the state of Nevada, asking for an order to stop ballot counting, stating that the mail-in ballots were not being fully observed by their campaign. A Nevada judge has rejected the suit and the emergency petition filed by the Trump campaign, the Nevada Republican Party, and a plaintiff named Fred Kraus. The lawsuit names Clark County Registrar Joe Gloria and Nevada Secretary of State Barbara Sagafsky, stating that the ballot secrecy and that the signature checking software had a low tolerance that would lead to most signatures being accepted. In his order denying the petition, Judge James E. Wilson Jr. stated that the campaign and Nevada GOP lacked standing to bring the case. There was no indication of wrongdoing on the part of the election staff or that someone's vote was not being lawfully counted, and no problem with the signature checking system.
Well, 2 vehicles sustained major damage Sunday morning after colliding on the highway. Luckily, no one was transported from a 2-vehicle crash that occurred Sunday morning on Highway 160 and Basin Avenue. Traffic control was conducted by the Nye County Sheriff's Office auxiliary units. Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue and Nevada Highway Patrol also arrived on scene with Sheriff's Office deputies. Nevada Highway Patrol is conducting the investigation as to the cause of this crash.
We'll be back with your Business First brief right after the break.
You're watching News 25, the most recognized and farthest-reaching local news in Nye County. News 25, local news you can count on. This segment of the news is brought to you by Southwest Medical, part of Optum Care, now offering same-day adult health care appointments. Call 775-727-6400 today.
Welcome back. We're happy to have you with us tonight. Cruise companies' shares are starting to rise. Chicago PMI dropped, and Apple lost billions of dollars after failing to exceed their expected sales. More now with your Business First Brief.
Here's Angela Miles with today's Business First Brief.
Topping our news, investors are riding the wave with cruise stocks. On Friday, shares of cruise companies rose after the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention said that industry is now under a conditional sale order. That means voyages can resume as long as cruise lines show health protocols are effective against COVID. Taking a look at economic news, the Chicago Purchasing Managers Index, which is a business barometer of the Midwest, slipped last month to 61.1, down from 62.4 in September. A number of 50 or higher indicates expanding manufacturing activity. Personal income increased 0.9%, while spending increased 1.4%. Apple lost about $111 billion in market cap on Friday. That's after the tech giant reported lower than expected sales of iPhones.
Thanks so much, Angela. Well, the Pahrump Valley Chamber of Commerce held a candidate forum via Zoom this past week.
All candidates currently running for office for state and county races, Justice of the Nevada Supreme Court, Seat B and Seat D, State Assembly, District 32 and 36, Nye County Commissioner, District 2, and Nye County Treasurer, Court of Appeals, District 3, District Court Department 1 and 2, State Senate, District 19, Nye County Commissioner, District 1 and 3, and Justice of the Peace Department 2 were invited to participate. The Chamber billed their event as a nonpartisan, unbiased, and impartial format that is compliant with their bylaws. Panelists for the forum included Jenny Sarton, moderator and CEO of the Pahrump Valley Chamber of Commerce, Ann Silvers, CEO of the Reno Sparks Chamber of Commerce, and Carol Colson, CEO of the Mesquite Chamber of Commerce. If you would like to see the 2 nights of forums in their entirety, you can find them on the Pahrump Valley Chamber of Commerce's Facebook page.
The voting tomorrow is from 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. at various community centers throughout Nye County. Here in Pahrump, it's at the Bob Roode Community Center, and they want people to know that it may take a little while because they do have to sanitize during each visit from every voter.
A trespassing report leads to recovery of a stolen ATV.
On May 17th, deputies were dispatched in reference to a trespass. The person of interest was behind the Fraser Furniture Building in a white pickup truck and trailer with a black ATV on it. Security asked to have the person trespass from ACC and Fraser Furniture because he seemed suspicious. The subject was identified as Scott Shields. Shields stated that he was given permission to take a few gates that were on a pallet because they were being thrown away. The deputy asked Shields questions regarding the ATV he had on the trailer. His responses to the questions were vague, saying he allegedly bought it from a dude and did not know how many hours were on it. Shields says that he was given permission by the building owners to take some fence panels, but he could not remember the names of the people that allegedly gave him permission. When the deputy checked the VIN number of the ATV, some of the numbers looked to be altered. At that time, having reasonable suspicion that the ATV had been stolen, deputies informed Shields that the ATV would be seized. Deputies contacted Polaris World in Mesquite and learned that the ATV had allegedly been stolen on April 15th. On July 15th, deputies received an email from Polaris World that contained 2 photographs, 1 video of the suspect that had stolen the ATV. The male in the photo matched the booking photographs of Scott Shields. On October 27th, the Street Crimes, Gangs, and Narcotics Unit of the Nye County Sheriff's Office was able to make contact with Shields at a homeless camp in the desert across from the DMV. At that time, Shields was placed under arrest for possession of stolen property and destruction of another's property, $250 to $5,000.
Well, there was no shortage of candy or fun for families this past Halloween, and everyone here at News 25 and Quality Signs had a pretty good time, too.
The trunk or treat on Betty Loop was a ghoulish success. Families made their way down the loop for socially distanced trick-or-treating. We saw lots of masks, both scary and practical, and costume trick-or-treaters seemed happy to collect their candy, and parents were happy to have a safe place to go. Thank you to Quality Signs and Designs and Ace Country Radio for joining News 25, and thank you to all who participated to make it a special night. Of course, we had to visit the haunted drive-thru made possible by the Shadow Mountain Players.
There were 3 clubs that started it, the museum, PDOP, and Wild West Extravaganza. And we all felt really bad because there wasn't anything to do on Halloween, and so we decided to put together a drive-through. And then at the end of it, you get candy from each one of the booths that you pass.
A report of a DUI leads to an alleged stolen vehicle.
On October 10th at 9:43 a.m., sheriff's deputies were dispatched for a report of a DUI. Contact was made with a male in possession of a silver Hyundai Sonata who identified himself as Joshua Howerton of California. Howerton allegedly told the deputy that he had smoked methamphetamine just a few hours prior. Howerton was also allegedly in possession of a dirty glass pipe to which he allegedly admitted that he smoked methamphetamine in. While speaking with Howerton, the deputy observed his pupils to be pinpoint and non-reactive to light. Howerton was also sweating profusely. Having probable cause to believe that Howerton was under the influence of a controlled substance, he was placed under arrest and transported to Nye County Detention Center without incident. Howerton consented to a medical blood draw. It was later learned that the vehicle Howerton was in possession of was stolen out of California. Howerton was arrested for use and possession of drug paraphernalia, being under the influence of a controlled substance, and possession of a stolen vehicle.
After the break, we'll have today's Save a Pet. Stay with us.
You're watching News 25, brought to you by Mountain West Lawyer, Injury Attorneys, 727-9500. News 25, local news you can count on.
Well, recently News 25 caught up with John Jimenez, who told us about an option available for women and men battling addiction. The organization is called U-Turn for Christ.
U-Turn for Christ is freedom from addiction through Jesus Christ. We're a Christian discipleship ministry. We help people come out of the depths of hell from the sin of addiction. Our ministry is strongly structured through servitude. We are a ministry of servitude. We serve in our community, different churches, different nonprofits, the city, the parks. We want to be very involved so that the men and women that come through can give back. We work with the court system. We work with different churches in the community. Mainly our people come to us by referral, and a lot of them come through different ministries and churches throughout Las Vegas and Nevada and other parts of the country also. We have a men's ranch, yes, it's established since 2016. We've been open. We just celebrated in July our 4th year of being open. We do have a women's facility that's paid for, but we haven't started to do construction on it yet. We're waiting for the Lord to send the right couple to oversee it, that have a calling on their life to help women. And so it is in our prayers, and we want to get that property going. And we do have the land paid for, with the well already on it, so we're just praying for the right provision to come. We think it's important to have the women's ranch, and we really want it to be open, so if anyone wants to get involved in that anyway, they would please contact us, because it's important, it's really important that the women would have a place also. You can go to info@uturnforchrist.org, and you can contact us here in Pahrump. We have, our office number is 775-209-9077. And that number has my phone number, my direct cell, in case there's any type of emergency. You can get a hold of me directly.
Today's Save a Pet is proudly...
The coronavirus pandemic has taken a toll on our mental health. Doctors are seeing more cases of low-grade depression, which could magnify as we adjust the clocks to falling back for daylight savings time.
It's come about because with COVID-19, we have so much change, so much unpredictability, so much uncertainty. The target's always moving as to what we know and what we don't know and how things change, and it's unnerving.
Jane Pernado-Ehrman is a behavioral health specialist at Cleveland Clinic. She says the pandemic, coupled with the lack of sunshine during the winter months, may make more people feel depressed, but there are ways to help improve your mood. For example, getting enough sleep, keeping a daily routine, and getting some fresh air outside. Meditation can also be helpful, even if it's just 5 minutes a day. And bright light first thing in the morning, even lamplight, can be energizing. In addition, she recommends acknowledging your feelings, expressing them, and then releasing them. One way to do this is writing them down in a journal or talking about them with someone you trust, and then letting the feelings go.
Refocus to the goodness in your life. We woke up today. You feel good? You have clothes on? You have food in the refrigerator? You have clean water coming out of the tap? You're doing a lot better than a lot of other people in our communities and in the world.
If your depression doesn't seem to be getting better on its own, she recommends seeking a specialist so they can offer more assistance.
Well, let's go to Darby O'Donnell, who takes us to the cat room at Desert Haven Animal Society to meet a shy orange boy.
Today's Save a Pet is proudly sponsored by Jason Ernest with Mountain West Lawyers. Call 775-727-9500.
Hi, I'm Darby here at Desert Haven Animal Society, and today we are joined with Norris. Norris is a 12-year-old orange tabby. He is super sweet, very loving, likes to be pet and held. He also just kind of likes to hide, which is why I'm not holding him right now, because he wanted to go back in his cage and kind of hide because it was kind of scary. But very, very affectionate cat. He has this really cute little meow sound that he makes. Very cute little white face with green eyes. If you want to come and see Norris or any of his friends here at Desert Haven Animal Society in the cat room, give them a call ahead of time at 775-751-7020, or you can look them up on their Facebook page at Desert Haven Animal Society.
News 25 WeatherCam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
Hi, it's John Kohler from KPVM Channel 25. We're outside the weather studios right now, observing Wheeler Pass and Mount Charleston. You can see some heavy cloud covers just come in over the hills, and it looks like, well, we've seen some lightning, we've seen some thunder. We had a report that there was a confirmed strike 7.5 miles this way, and in the last 30 minutes, and we are watching it as it progresses. No measurable precipitation yet at this point, but it's going to be an interesting afternoon and into the evening, and we'll tell you all about the weather you can expect for the next couple days and into the week when we return.
News 25 weather is brought to you by Dairy Council of Nevada. The splash of cream in your coffee, the dollop of sour cream on your burrito, the melted toasty cheese on your pizza. Undeniably delicious, undeniably dairy. Enjoy what's real.
Hi, good evening, Nevada. It's John Kohler from the KPVM Channel 25 Weather Studios, and this is your weather report on the anniversary of Howard Hughes' first and only flight in the Spruce Goose. That was 1947. So up, and away, we're looking at it in Fernley. 72 degrees is your high today, 36 for a low. Fallon saw similar temperatures, 72 for a high, 32 for a low. Out in Carson City, your capital, 74 degrees. My capital, too, 35 for a low tonight. In Tonopah, we saw it all the way to 72 degrees was a high today. Cooling off a little bit right now, and it'll cool off all the way down to 39 degrees tonight. Out in Goldfield, 72 degrees. Room temperature, look at you go. 39 degrees will be the low tonight. In Beatty, we're looking at staring right in the eyeballs, 80 degrees for a high today, 51 for a low. And Amargosa, it's feeling good, 84 degrees, 55 for a low. Out in Las Vegas, big winners, heating it up all the way to 81 degrees and cooling off down to 61 tonight. In Death Valley, return to the temperatures in the 90s. 93 degrees is your high today and 65 for a low. Here locally, well, it's looking pretty pleasant. In the paradise of Pahrump, 77 degrees currently is our temperature. We got it all the way up to 82 degrees, and that's not too bad poolside. Again, check it out for the next 4 days. We're kind of blessed a little bit. South-southeasterly winds to 7 miles per hour, and the humidity picking up to 17%. That'll bring us some clouds towards morning. Sunrise this morning was 6:08 a.m. Amazing colors with the clouds. It'll set tonight at 4:46 p.m. How'd you make the, did you make the leap with daylight savings time? Everybody got their clock set right? Hope so. 56 degrees will be our low tonight. East-northeasterly winds to 4 miles per hour, and your humidity and the cloud cover is going to pick up towards morning, 34% humidity. So look forward to that. Hey, let's check out the rest of the week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Now we got 4 days of pretty decent weather in the low 80s, low and mid 80s until Friday. And then the bottom drops out on Saturday and Sunday, looking all the way down to 55 degrees for a high and lows in the 30s. So my goodness, enjoy that for the next 3-4 days and make your plans for the weekend and like maybe pack an extra blanket if you're going camping. All right. There's your weather report. I'm John Kohler. Back to the desk, Deanna.
Have a good night.
See ya.